Hello, fellow robots out there in internet land. I am Sobertron, and welcome back to the next episode of Titancraft Season 6 here on Tangotech's Patreon server. And as always, if you want to join me and this fantabulous community, all the information you need is down in the description for Tangotech's Patreon page. You should absolutely join us here if you're looking for a server to play on. It's tons and tons of fun. But guys, we're down here today in our mines that we built a couple episodes ago. I've been doing a bit of work down here off camera, not too much. I've actually been doing a bit more work outside than in here. But I've added in these kind of framed structures to where these mine shafts are going to go. So think of it, big open pit mine, and then off those you got these little branching bits that are happening. So I've done that on like 16 of them. Yeah, so they all go inside. Right now they're all the same, roughly. I mean, I gotta detail some work in here later on, but we haven't added in any kind of craziness yet. We haven't varied the walls. We haven't added in any ores yet. I just wanted to see this place come a little bit more progress, and I want to try to do a bit in between episodes every time, and then come back and show you what I have done. So for now, that's what we got. We've got these little frame structures. I'm going to go kill this guy right now. Die. And yeah, so other than that, I've been doing some work inside of our kind of big lava bowl room. So what I did out here was I finally kind of finished up this top ring. For the longest time, it has just been stone, and it's been annoying me a bit. So I went through and I added in a bunch of polished basalt, some regular basalt, some other blocks. I still think I want to do a bit more in here. I'm not 100% satisfied with the result. And I think what it is from a distance, it looks okay. But then as you get closer to it, it just starts to look very, very busy. So I think I need to scale back some of this a bit, reduce the basalt probably a lot, and maybe add in other blocks like andesite, polished andesite. I think that'll actually help with the effect I'm trying to achieve, where we go from mostly blackstone to adding in more basalt to adding in more to kind of lighten it as it goes up. And eventually, there's not going to be any blackstone, but I think that's going to start doing it more so along the walls. In addition to the work I have been doing off camera, Cash has been very, very busy. She has been a very busy bee. So this is the first area that she's still actually working on right now, working on detailing the roof. But this is kind of the green quadrant of our base. I think she was AFK in there a moment ago, but the server just restarted. To where she built this little farmland area, and it kind of popped up on me overnight one day. It was just not there, and then I woke up in the morning, and yeah, places are built. She built another thing, but first I need to show you something that Cable Guy built at our place. Now I need to caveat this a little bit first. So Cable has this build for hire shop to where you can ask him to build something anywhere, at your base generally is how it works. And he'll come and build it, and he'll do it free of charge, because he just wants content for his videos, and he likes being a friendly guy, and he likes building. So we asked Cable to build. We're trying to achieve this thing with taverns in all the areas. So we've got one in the blue area already, and we don't know if we're going to have one in the purple, but we definitely wanted one for the green and red. So we asked Cable to build one in the green area, because we're going to go with these kind of more natural, organic shapes inside this space. And Cable just ignored that and decided to put another tavern in the blue area that looks very, very organic. I love this place. Same thing that happened with the little farm area that Cash built over there. This just kind of appeared one morning. He still had a whole bunch of shulkers out here, so I assumed he wasn't done, and I was correct, because the very next morning I woke up, and yeah, all of this was in here. And Cable is an insane beast. I love this place. It looks so fantastic. This little kind of cave-like tavern. I really like this kind of concept of. I've been looking at this as more of like the dwarves have kind of carved everything out and replaced it and made it kind of more permanent, where Cable did the exact opposite, and he kind of used quote unquote the terrain that was there, even though it wasn't to his advantage. And I'm absolutely loving this effect. And I think I might have to try to do this more in our base. The one problem is I don't want another tavern in the blue area. I want it in the green area. So there is the potential that in the near future, I'm going to recreate this block for block in the green area. That might happen. It might not. I'm probably signing myself up for something I don't want to do. But we'll see what happens. We're not going to deal with that today, though. I have other plans for today. Lots and lots of other plans. But there's still one more thing I need to show you before we get started. So the last thing I have to show is right over here. It's kind of weird that it's all kind of in a line, but I guess a circle is just a continuous, never-ending line, so that makes sense. Whoa, my head hurts. Cash wanted to do a candy shop. she's had this idea in her head for a while, and you can kind of see it a bit. When she was first describing this to me, though, I couldn't comprehend it. But as soon as she did it, it just made so much sense in my head. Like, I don't know how I didn't see this coming. She's essentially using, like, the ores as candy that are kind of in, like, a almost like a Pez dispenser kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, this might be an American thing, but in candy shops here, like actual candy stores, they've got like those bins on the walls, and it's got like a little compartment underneath, and you can take a little trowel and fill a cup or a container with it. That's kind of what she's done here, where she used the ores as that, and it comes into a little bin, and then you can come and scoop all the candy you want. I think it's amazing of an idea, and she gave each one its own little name. So Butterscotch Rock, Enchantos, which is a great one. Scarlet Powder Bolts. I don't know where she came up with that, but it's great. Licorice Fuel Bites. Amazing. I hate licorice. Cash must love it because she absolutely loves coal. This is one of my favorites. Is Tango's Tasty Treats because Tango he does iron stuff. And then we got Trader Ruse for the emeralds, and then Toothbreakers for the diamonds for obvious reasons. Now this space right here is a little bit undone for a reason, and this is our first project for today. It's going to serve us well though, because we have a mountain to build. So what we're going to do first is build Cash a little kind of cobblestone basalt generator right in the space, and she's going to do the same thing with. She says she has some amazing names for this stuff. I don't know what they are. She won't tell me, so I have to wait. But what we're going to do is we're going to build a basalt and cobblestone generator right here, very tiny one. It'll help us with all of our future stone needs for the mountain because it's going to take a lot of it. So yeah, I'm going to sit here and do this. It shouldn't be too difficult. It should just be lava source and then some soul soil and ice and a little bit of water, and it should work fairly quickly. So give me like 10 minutes and I'll come back. Okay, it might have been a few more minutes than 10 minutes, as evident by the background now being there. Cash came by a few minutes ago and finished this area up. But yeah, here we go. A quick, easy basalt and cobblestone generator that is going to serve our mountain needs very well. I love this thing. It's such a cool little contraption. Using a waterlogged stair right here as our water source to create the lava. Now, in previous ones, I've done this. I mean, it's been years since I built one of these very small scale cobblestone farms. You had to do some crazy shenanigans with the water to make sure that it didn't turn the lava into obsidian, but you don't have that problem here. It just always turns to cobble. Sometimes you lose a few. And then basalt, same thing. Just boom, got the little soul sand underneath, or soil, whatever it's called. But yeah, there we go. Both good timing, guys. Good timing. I had to do some crazy shenanigans, though, with these trapdoors, powering them from underneath. And this one gave me a bit of grief because of this stair block right here. Can't power a stair block, so I actually had to put the lever on the opposite side of this block and do the magic of Minecraft. It's able to power that trapdoor to keep it up. Now, Cash is going to come by and do some kind of facade over here, but she's still diligently working on the little farming area we got over there. But now what I need to do is spend like 10 hours here just gathering up as much cobble as possible. It's going to be a slow grind. I'm going to lose a lot of cobble, but job's got to get done, guys. We have to get as much cobble as possible. Well, that's a pretty cool angle, isn't it? But yeah, we need to get tons and tons of cobble. So I'm going to spend like 12, 13, 24 hours here just getting as much cobble as possible. And yeah, we're just going to do this and get enough materials to build this mountain. You guys didn't honestly think I was going to spend 24 hours at that little puny cobblestone generator, did you? Because I'm not gonna. There's no way I'm gonna do that. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna build a better cobblestone generator in our minds, because that's kind of what I designed this place for. I wanted them to be decorative, but also I want some functionality in them. So we're gonna use one of these little insets I've got going on here to build a nice, small cobblestone generator. I've already done some digging work, actually, before I even started recording this episode. Now, I'm using an Ilmango design. I don't see the need to reinvent the wheel. The guy's a genius. Him and the side crafters are just do crazy, crazy shenanigans. So I'm going to do this dual-purpose cobble basalt generator right in here. I think it's the right footprint right now, but I might dig it out a bit more just to make sure I have enough space. It even looks like I built the room off. Yeah, I built that side longer. Whatever, it's fine. I might make it a little bit bigger just to fit everything in here. Now, what's going to end up happening, though, is the output's going to come out over there, but that's not where I want it to go eventually. I'm probably not going to do it today because I do have a significant amount of stone and cobblestone reserves, but I think I might need some in the future after this mountain's done. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to build the cobblestone generator right in here, and then somewhere kind of behind this wall, I'm going to have a TNT blast chamber that's going to be hooked up. And then I'm thinking on this kind of inset over here, I'm going to have a concrete converter. And I want the input for the blast chamber to be closer to this concrete converter I'm going to build. Because what I can do is run the cobblestone line into the concrete converter line, and then I can use that to flush out the system. I find that doing that is a lot better because it's really easy. Like when we're making cobblestone and basalt, it's free blocks. Like we're just creating them out of nothing. Versus gathering the materials to make concrete, dyeing it, all that stuff. It's a bit more of a grind versus this where I can turn it on and it just goes. So if I can route this system all the way around, I'm fine with it. Ultimately ending up at the input of our concrete converter and then have that just as a kind of way to flush out any concrete that needs to go into the blast chamber. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. We're probably not going to tackle either of those two projects today, but I absolutely want to get this first bit in today, and then we'll start on actually doing some stuff outside of our base area. This project is actually going really, really smoothly. I'm actually surprised. The hole was just big enough, but I decided to widen it anyway. So how this is going to work is it's a dual purpose, right? So we've got the blue ice and the soul soil to make the basalt. But then if the ice isn't up, it'll just make cobblestone. And how that's going to happen is there's going to be a line of some waterlogged stairs here. So if the ice is up, then it's going to cover up that water, and when it's down, the water will flow, and there'll be a lava strip right down the middle here, and then everything's going to get funneled right over this, and it'll ultimately come to one of these two sticky pistons over here. Now, it's doing like a little zero tick kind of trick here, and I can demonstrate it even. So as soon as I place a block in front of there, it's going to cause lots of madness to happen like that. And so the way these kind of work in tandem, so one side will fire first, and then the other side will fire. Now, ultimately, I'm going to want to turn this like I talked about earlier, so as soon as it kind of clears this piston area here, probably around this kind of iron here, I'm going to turn it left. And I've been hearing a lot of zombies back here, and I have a feeling there's a cave. Yep. Oh, that's a much bigger cave than I thought it would. Oh, it looks like we've been in here before. I'm guessing mining of some kind. Hey, buddy. So I'm actually going to take a pause on this project and light that all up because that is ruining some rates of stuff and things. But yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'll probably end up finishing up this little farm here because it's going much faster than I thought. Now, ultimately, there's gonna be a button and a switch. The button is actually gonna end up controlling which one of these we want, I believe. If we want either basalt and or cobblestone, and then there's gonna be a switch. I gotta figure out how to wire it in here, probably just up in the ceiling somewhere. That'll actually turn the farm on and off. But I would say it's only gonna take me about another 30 minutes to get this done, and I think I've been going for about 30 minutes now, so going really, really fast. But let me light that whole shenanigans up and finish building this thing, and I will be back to show you guys the final result, and then we can finally move on to the project that we've been waiting for all season, and that is the start of our mountain. So after a little bit longer than I thought it would take, due to two reasons, one being timings on a server with redstone, and two being a creeper exploding right here before this glass was in place, because I don't have this. Actually, let me look around. I don't want a creeper exploding in my face again. He blew up a little bit of stuff right here. It was kind of a pain, but it's done, guys. It's done mostly because the output still isn't there, and I'm going to talk about that a bit right now. So everything is working fine. This line right here is actually where I had to modify some redstone timings. Originally, this first repeater on each here and there was set to 3, and the rest were set to 2. I actually had to extend the delay a little bit just to TPS being suboptimal. It's a server, guys. It's what we have to deal with. You know, it is what it is. It caused it to just go too fast. So I had to slow it down to make sure that these two redstone dots weren't breaking off. Because you got two pistons going into one. It was just shenanigans. I'm going to turn it on right now. It's set to basalt mode. It's going to get a little loud, but I'll talk you guys through it. It should start with the right side first based off of where that block is. So one side is off, one side is on for the redstone signal. So let me just turn it on, and we'll see it go. Now, once it gets to that kind of redstone torch you can't really see right there. There it goes. It's going to start pushing the blocks that way, but as soon as that piston gets the push limit, it's going to keep pushing it straight, and as soon as that piston gets the push limit, this whole thing's going to break. But like I said, it's fine for now. I don't have an output system, but let's just turn it on. The right side should go first. There it goes. So you can even see sometimes just TPS is causing that little bit of lag to where it looks like there's crazy amounts of blocks there. It's all visual. It should work fine. In about 2 seconds, though, those two redstone dots right there are going to pop off because we don't have an output system. Which, like I said many times, is fine. So let's shut it off so the loudness goes away. There we go. I'll clean that up in a bit. But yeah, this is all good now. I do want to do a little bit of decoration, mostly in the back there. I do like having the glass showing. I like seeing redstone. Let me check my back again. I don't want creepers. I like seeing redstone bits. If you build it, I think you should show it off sometimes. But I want to decorate a little bit back there. Maybe not decorate, but just kind of add in some blocks so it's not just a void right there. But yeah, for right now, I'm going to clean this up, and then we're going to work on the mountain, guys. It's finally coming. It's been 7.5 months since the server went live. I've been talking about it for a while now, and it needs to happen. It needs to happen now. I'm going to grab some stone. I'm going to talk you through some of my methodology on what I want to do, and then we'll just get going and see how far we can get. So I'm just outside of base, guys, right next to the newest addition to our Royal District, and I wanted to talk a bit about how I want to tackle this mountain. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on this before because I've never built a big, large-scale mountain like we're going to do today. And so one of the things that one person in particular, Whip, if you guys watch Whip, he is pretty awesome, that he doesn't do is what I'm about to show you right now. So some people, I've seen this before, will build a mountain kind of layer by layer. Uh, and what inevitably happens is you end up getting this cone-shaped structure. No matter how hard you try, you end up getting something that's starting to look like this, to where it's very kind of, I don't want to say one-dimensional because this is a 3D game, but it's, you get that kind of pyramid-y shape. And even when you get something that's a little bit off, like not perfectly symmetrical like that one, it's still very kind of cone-shaped. You get these very kind of similar lines everywhere. So what I have noticed that Flip does is he always starts off with a wire frame for his mountain build, and he does a ton of them, an absolute ton of them, and he is an amazing builder. Sham, I know, has modeled a lot of his stuff off of what Flip does. So what I want to do is first place some kind of points in the sky to kind of strive for, and I'm out of stone, to strive for. So I'm gonna build up a few of these pillars here, and by a few, I mean quite a few. I don't want to build just a single mountain. I want like more of a mountain range thing going on. I want there to be multiple peaks, a few little valleys, maybe. And I've got some other ideas to kind of incorporate some of the terrain. Specifically, that river over there has been kind of in my mind for a while now, and I have a cool idea that I think I might want to do for it. We'll see how everything works out. I did talk to another player on the server who built a mountain, and they said bigger than you think. So I'm taking that to heart as well. Already we know we have a very large space that we have to cover, so I'm thinking, even beyond that. What Y level are we at, though? I don't want this part. This is going to be the tallest point here, and I don't want it to go all the way to build limit just to give me a little bit of flexibility. So I'm thinking around 240 is where I want to kind of strive for. I lost jump boost. I was wondering what was going on. 240 is kind of the target goal for this high peak right now. But as soon as we get up there, you can see there's other bits of terrain that I want to kind of incorporate in. So there's already kind of an extreme hills over there, and we started terraforming some of it. I want some higher peaks over there, and it's ultimately going to come up like a ridge line that comes here. There's also some more extreme hills over there near where our Bad Omen farm is. I want another one to go over there. So it's going to create this like V shape here. And I'm thinking connecting those two up, there's going to be like more of a sheer cliff. And that's how we're going to incorporate the river there. It's going to be a waterfall coming out the side of the cliff. Now, this side's going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm thinking that this might actually be the edge of where this central mountain is, simply because it goes down into swamp and then I think some plains over that way. I'm going to try to connect up this extreme hills that used to be here before I gutted it, and that'll be kind of like the edge of the boundary. I'm going to have to incorporate this whole area here and connect this back up, simply because I dug a big hole there a while ago. But all in all, I have a very kind of rough idea of how I want this to look, and starting with this one is where we're going to go. So for now, I'm going to build a couple more of these pillars, scattered about this place just to give some height variation. Some are going to be higher than others, but nothing should be higher than this guy right here. So give me, I don't know, an hour to get this looking how I want it to look, and I will see you guys in a little bit. After some minor internet issues and a lot of stone placement, I am back, and you can see kind of what I'm working with here. I've placed a ton of stone pillars. I started off with a shulker of stone, and that's what I have left of it. So just over 8 stacks, or just under 8 stacks is what I have. But there are lots of stone pillars throughout this place, and you can kind of already see, just with these in place, if you know, imagined all of this stuff connecting up. Um, and I'm gonna move on to the next phase now, and that's actually doing kind of like the wiring, as like Flip calls it, or wire diagram. I can't remember. And essentially, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start from the ground level and start building wire framing to connect up these points. Now, I'm noticing as I was building these that my peak might be a little bit high, and some of these other ones might be as well. But we're gonna play it by ear. A lot of this is just trial and error. But what I think I want to do is actually start at the back of our mountain. If you guys didn't know, this is the back. There's the front door. I want to start at the back because I just mentally I would rather mess this up in the back. I've never done this before. I've helped people build mountains, but it was kind of towards the later stages, specifically back in Season 3 of Titancraft. I helped out Sham and Nexus finish up their mountain. I'm not sure if this one's bigger than the one they did or not. I honestly, it's been so long. But basically, what I've noticed in Flip's videos is you don't want to go in straight lines. Like, so I don't want to really start here and work towards that point. I want to start a little bit offset. So maybe somewhere around here. And what he does is, actually, that might be a little bit too much. This is kind of more a gradual thing that I'm going to end up steeping out a bit. So I think I want to continue that trend. And what he tends to do is start going off, kind of trying to get to that point. So no straight lines. Sometimes he'll even like double back this way a bit. So coming out here. And then occasionally he'll switch this out and start doing some dirt. So let's do that first, actually. And then we'll move back this way and do some dirtness right there. And what he likes to do with this, and I think it looks really good, is he has these kind of, I call them like veins almost of dirt, to where it's intersecting the stone bits. And then later on, he comes through and replaces the stuff with snow. And I think in parts, I think I might do the same thing, kind of towards the top end of our mountain here. And you can already see I'm already like missing that point a little bit. It's going to start to flatten out, which I think is actually fine in a way. I think if we had some flat areas on this thing, it'll just give it a little bit more dimension to it. So, and if we have to raise that up a bit, that's fine. I think we're gonna be really good here. So yeah, I'm probably gonna mess this up a couple times. So I'm just gonna go and see what happens. Hopefully this place turns out good. I'm not gonna hold these positions I have to like heart. I can move those whenever I want. But yeah, I'm just going to play with it. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to go. I think I want to start off trying to connect up a couple of these ridge lines. So starting here, going as maybe all the way up to the top, and then this one over here as well, this very long one, just to see the shape that it takes. But yeah, I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll be back in a little bit once I've hopefully got some better things to show. It's been about an hour, guys, and I think I'm a little bit apprehensive about this whole project as I'm starting it. You can see I've done a bit of work. I've burned through stacks on stacks of stone already. I've even got some more laid out down there that I just went down in the storage to grab. I think what I'm feeling right now is a little bit of apprehension about this whole thing. This was kind of the defining moment of this build. Everything has been kind of working towards this point of building this mountain. And now that I'm seeing it come together, I'm actually getting a little bit nervous because I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I have never done this before, so I'm kind of nervous on it. If it doesn't turn out well, it's kind of like, oh, do I tear it all down? I'd rather not do that, but I'd rather it look good from the beginning. And as you can see, this whole thing is kind of new to me. I'm having difficulties just doing this, connecting things up. It's a whole new process for me. I'm not used to doing some build like this. I'm really good at building big stuff and integrating things. So like how we have all of our inner workings underneath our base and like grand scale design things. But when it comes to doing something like this that I've never done before, it's definitely like making my heart beat a little fast in a way. So I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this yet. It should hopefully grow on me. I should hopefully find my groove for this. I haven't yet, but hopefully it comes soon. Hopefully I begin to realize where I'm making mistakes. Like I'm not sure how I feel about this. I might soften that up a bit. Yeah, same thing here. I'm not sure how I feel about this sharp angle here. Do I keep it? Do I change it? I don't know yet. I think I just have to see more of it to decide. I just wanted to give you guys an update where I'm at mentally with this whole process. Hopefully, I get over that kind of mental block of this thing soon, and I can just keep on going. But I'll see you guys again in a bit. Hopefully, I've got a bit more of this done, and we can see how things look from there. So I'm still heavily involved in kind of wireframing this mountain up top, but I was just watching Cable's video where he built this, and he showed something that I didn't notice, and he put his face inside here. That's right, I didn't notice this the first time. He put his face inside of our tavern. So we have two cables at our base now, and he also decided to serve chicken just to spite me. So I see this as a challenge, guys. Let me know in the comments. What should I do to Cable's base? I need to think of something. Doesn't necessarily have to be at his base. I just need something to prank Cable with. Give me ideas. Comments down below. I'm going to go back to building now, guys, because this mountain is not going to build itself. Okay, guys. I've been working on this for a long time, and I think I've finally figured out where I'm making mistakes, where I'm succeeding. Things are going much, much more smooth than they were earlier. I figured out a lot of things that I didn't know going into this because I've never done this before. So, like, one of the first things is I kept trying to aim for that center point. It's almost impossible to do so. So I'm just really trying to get a loose shape for everything right now. The other thing I was trying to do was add in these other kind of mountain peaks within this main mountain. It just wasn't working out. It wasn't looking good. So I had one here before. I might have to smooth some of this out. But I had it going back down. You can see there's one going back down over there and another one going down that way. I'm getting rid of those. So these lower bits are going to disappear. And I'm just going to kind of work towards one kind of central area, not even a central point, because that is really hard to do from multiple angles. So I'm going to try to get the rough idea of how this looks. And specifically working from the bottom up seems to work really well for me. I've got an area over here I've already started to fill in just to see, to play with it, see where I can make this an easier process for me. And I think it turned out really, really well for this being my first kind of area. What I really like is as you're standing down here, you can see through like this little gap that's created that main mountain in the distance. The other thing I've stopped doing is I've stopped placing dirt. I'm just using stone for right now. I'm going to go back through later on once I have some built up areas and add the dirt in later on. But all in all, I'm fairly happy with this progress thus far. Now, I'm probably going to be working on this a lot off camera in between episodes, bit by bit. It's a lot of work. I've gone through 6 shulkers thus far of stone, and most of it was actually in this wire, and a bit was in that section I did over there. But yeah, I'm really liking how this is going to turn out. In the future, I think I'm going to come back through and add in other peaks, but that's, I think, far in the future. I need to just concentrate on doing this bite-sized chunks at a time, I think is the goal here. This section right here probably took about 40 minutes to do, and I think it turned out great, so that's how I'm going to look at this. Little bits at a time, over time, and this thing will take shape. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. That's it for today. This episode was a lot of fun because I'm doing something new. Wow, I can't believe I didn't smash my face on that. But that's it. Until next time, you guys have a good one.